Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news all right, folks. Let's talk about a rumor that's been making waves around the NFL circles, and it's one that could have huge implications for the Falcons' future. Word on the street is that the Kansas City Chiefs, sitting at 6-6 and facing some pretty tight salary cap constraints, just around $2.9 million, are considering making some bold moves. And one of those moves, trading Chris Jones, their star defensive tackle, to Atlanta. Yeah, you heard that right. Chris Jones, a guy who's been a disruptive force on that defensive line, who's racked up over 85 sacks and 500 tackles in his career, might be heading to Atlanta, and fans, this could be a game changer. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Jones, isn't he 31? That's a fair point. Age does matter, but let's not forget this guy is still a beast. Last season, he averaged 19. 3 points per game, and he's been a machine with 25 sacks over his career, combined with being an all-pro interior disruptor. His ability to collapse the pocket, generate sacks, and clog the run game is elite. And most importantly, he's a proven difference maker. The Chiefs, on the other hand, are reportedly pretty cautious about holding on to him long-term, especially with their focus on extending Patrick Mahomes and rebuilding their youth pipeline. They're looking at cap flexibility, and with a tight budget, trading Jones could make a lot of sense, especially if they can pick up some high draft capital and a talented young defensive tackle in return. Now, let's dig into what Jones brings to the table and how he could impact the Falcons. This isn't just about adding another player. It's about injecting a game-changing presence into the interior of our defensive line. Jones has been a relentless force, a true disruptor who can command double teams and free up our linebackers to make plays. His stats are impressive. Last season alone, he totaled 20 tackles, 3 sacks, and 16 quarterback hits. His pressure rate, which sits around 15%, is among the best in the league for interior linemen. When you look at his PFF overall grade, which hovers around 80, it's clear he's still operating at a high level. His ability to generate pressure, especially in critical moments, would be a huge boost for the Falcons' defense, which has struggled at times to consistently pressure the quarterback and stuff the run. And speaking of the run game, Jones excels at clogging rushing lanes, limiting opponents to just 3.9 yards per carry last season. That's exactly what Atlanta needs. Our run defense has been a mixed bag, giving up about 4.7 yards per carry to tough opponents, which isn't ideal if we want to take the next step toward playoff contention. Bringing in Jones could help us close that gap and turn our defensive front into a real strength. Plus, his presence would help us generate more turnovers. He's been responsible for around +5 forced turnovers per season, a metric that can't be overlooked when it comes to winning games. Now, let's step back for a moment and think about the bigger picture. The Falcons, sitting at 4-8, are in a rebuilding phase, especially along that defensive front where we're still trying to find consistency. Adding a player of Jones's caliber could be exactly what we need to accelerate that process. His ability to anchor the middle, disrupt the passing game, and create chaos in the backfield aligns perfectly with the kind of aggressive, relentless defense the Falcons want to build. If we can get him and he stays healthy, we're talking about a guy who could help us shave around 4 points per game off what opponents are currently scoring against us. That's a game changer. Furthermore, let's consider the potential playoff implications. If Jones joins Atlanta, our chances of making a deep run in the NFC skyrocket. The NFC South has been unpredictable this season, and with teams like Tampa Bay and Carolina still fighting for relevancy, Atlanta has a real opportunity to take advantage of this division. Plus, with a stronger interior defensive line, we can better contain mobile quarterbacks, set the edge against the run, and force more turnovers. All of this feeds into the idea of us being a serious contender come playoff time. Remember, in the NFL, trenches win championships, and adding Jones would give us a major edge. Now, of course, there are some skeptics. The Chiefs are known for their cautious approach when it comes to cap management, and trading a player like Jones would be a big move for them. They're also concerned about their offensive line, which has allowed an average of two sacks per game, a number that's not great but manageable if they're planning to rebuild and extend Mahomes' window. Still, the Chiefs' front seven has been losing some of its motor. They've recorded just 45 tackles for loss this season, and losing Jones would weaken that pass rush significantly. It's a calculated risk for Kansas City, and if the Falcons can capitalize on this, it could turn into one of the most impactful trades of the season. For Atlanta, this isn't just about filling a need, it's about making a statement. We're building something special, and adding a player like Chris Jones could be the missing piece to elevate our defense into elite territory. Imagine our front line with Jones anchoring the middle, creating pressure on every snap, and forcing opponents into uncomfortable third-and-long situations. That kind of disruption is what wins games, especially in December and beyond when every play counts. Our young defense needs a veteran presence who can set the tone, and Jones is exactly that. Looking ahead, the Falcons are also eyeing the bigger picture, a shot at the Super Bowl. Odds currently sit around plus 15-0, but with a player like Jones on our roster, those odds could shrink significantly, especially if we dominate in the trenches during the playoffs. His experience, combined with our young core, could be the perfect recipe for a deep postseason run. The AFC and NFC are wide open this year, and if we can bolster our interior pass rush and stop the run more effectively, we're not just playoff contenders, we could be dark horses to surprise everyone. Now, I want to highlight that this move would also send a strong message to the rest of the league. The Falcons are serious about competing now and in the future. We're not just rebuilding for the sake of it. We're making moves to contend, and bringing in a disruptive force like Jones would reinforce that message loud and clear. Plus, it's a strategic move that could help us manage our cap better in the long run, freeing up space by trading away some older players and focusing on youth development. In conclusion, if the Falcons manage to pull this off, it would be a statement, a clear sign that we're ready to go all in. Chris Jones would give us the interior disruption, the run-stopping ability, and the veteran leadership that we need to take that next step. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could pay dividends for years to come, especially if we can extend our window and finally get that elusive Super Bowl ring. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Do you think Chris Jones would be a perfect fit for our defense? Or do you believe the Falcons should hold on to their current assets and focus on other areas? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. This is a team that's always evolving, always fighting, and with moves like this, we're inching closer to that Super Bowl dream. So buckle up, Falcons fans, exciting times are ahead.